Biden is not my, the thing.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Do I know the thing?
You know the thing.
Do I know the thing?
You know the thing.
I said, what's the thing?
The thing.
That I know.
You know the thing.
Do I know the thing?
You know the thing.
It's not mine. Is it yours? What's up, guys? It's Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. The months and days are going by pretty quick. Hope you guys are doing well. The halving is coming up in a few weeks in this month, and this is a highly anticipated, the most highly anticipated halving we've ever had in our history. And I decided to make a video early today because I got to get some work done. And of course, I said, I'm going to come outside. It's not going to be windy. And of course, as soon as I step out, it's been windy a lot lately. But anyways, I want to react to Matthew Kratter from Bitcoin University's video today. And it's called Bitcoin is Non-Violent Money. And I listen to him every morning when he makes a video. He doesn't make videos on Sundays. He makes some on Saturday every once in a while. But I wake up, I do my prayers, my meditation, play my relaxing, soothing music and stuff like that. And then once I get all that stuff done and pray for others and pray for my family and meditate and focus on positive things and stuff, before I head out to the world, I turn on Matthew Kratter, and I always listen to him because he has that very soothing, calming voice, and I'm still in that mode. That helps me out. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at this video.
This is Matthew Kratter from Bitcoin University. Today I want to talk about how Bitcoin is non-violent money. There are many problems with modern money, with fiat money, with money that just can be printed ex nihilo. It's really bad at preserving your purchasing power, for one thing. Here's a chart of the purchasing power of the US dollar, which is always falling over long periods of time.
On a side note, real quick, they need to update that chart because that was the same chart I started looking at when I first got into precious metals in 2020. I want to see an updated version as of, April 2024, because that was, 2020. And the amount of printing is absolutely crazy. So I would love to see the updated version. So if anybody has that, put a link in the comment section below for me. I appreciate it.
On the other hand, you work and you work and you work, and then you get paid with a melting ice cube called US dollars. Try putting some US dollars under your mattress for 10 years and then buying something with it, and you're not going to be happy with the result. Modern money is also the funding mechanism behind all modern wars. For example, the US has never paid for its modern forever wars with taxes, because if it did, the population would rebel. Instead, what the US does is it just prints up as much monopoly money as it needs and exchanges it for aircraft carriers, bombs, and drones.
And that's exactly what they do. It's called the hidden tax. If they had to pay for all the spending that they did, besides the wars like he talked about, but all the spending, sending the money overseas, all this pork in the bills and things like that, they wouldn't be able to afford it. And they couldn't tax us because people wouldn't go for it. It'd be too much taxes. Now they do tax us, and they kind of they overtax us, but the way they do it is they do it by the printing machine. It's the hidden tax, inflation. It's absolute theft. And this is why I'm on a mission, and you should be too, to not only educate yourself, which most of you guys already know. You guys know 90% of this. You need to go out there and tell people who don't know, because I didn't know about this, and I'm a finance guy, and I didn't know about it until 2020, until the pandemic, or the scamdemic, I like to say. So let's try to do our best I can and help and educate people on the hidden tax of inflation.
Fiat money is the money of death. Fiat money is also violence. It's imposed on people at the barrel of a gun. For example, I never opted into the US dollar system, and yet I'm somehow forced to use it, even in the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'm forced to use US dollars to pay my taxes, or men with guns will put me in a metal cage.
And that's what I'm talking about. Sorry for keep interrupting, but I had to say something on this, man. This is what I talk about all the time, that the fiat currency, the US dollar, or any fiat currency, is the first money in history, in human history, that the people didn't choose, right? Bitcoin is much different, man. We're choosing that money. We chose gold, and that's the big difference. This is the first time in our generation and the generations previous to us lifetime that we get to choose the money, that we get to choose our own money and opt out of this crooked system.
If I choose to use an alternate form of money like Bitcoin, then they hit me with capital gains taxes whenever I spend it in an effort, I suppose, to support their own monetary moat, the moat of the US dollar. This is why US dollars are not ethical and they're not nonviolent. At the same time, I need to work hard to earn US dollars while central bankers can just print up as many US dollars as they need for free and use it to finance the US government. Where's the justice in that? When Elizabeth Warren or Janet Yellen tell me that Bitcoin is bad for the world, they never tell me why their money imposed at gun barrel is good for me or good for the world, which is why I'm going to continue to assume that it's only good for them. By contrast, and this is really important to note, Bitcoin is opt-in money. It's voluntary money. If you don't like Bitcoin, no problem. You don't have to use it. Feel free to use your melting ice cube money or shiny yellow rocks money if you prefer, but you don't have to use Bitcoin if you don't like it. If you do like Bitcoin, though, you and anyone else are free to use Bitcoin. There's no license required. You can earn it, you can send it, you can receive it, you can mine it without needing to get certified or approved by anyone or give anyone your personal information. You don't even need to open up an account somewhere. You can just work for Bitcoin and earn it. You can download a free Bitcoin mobile wallet and start getting paid in Bitcoin. You could even just roll a die and generate private keys and billions of Bitcoin addresses that can then be used to receive Bitcoin. So there's really even no software required. Your Bitcoin private keys, your recovery seed, for example, are just a really large random number. As we said, you can also earn Bitcoin by plugging in a mining rig, no license required. So Bitcoin is very special this way as a voluntary system and as a system of math. It's voluntary, permissionless money. And that in itself makes it morally superior, I would say, to fiat money with all of its violence. Bitcoin is what Austrian economists call sound money. It's sound money because it was chosen by the people as money. It was chosen by the free market as money. It wasn't imposed from on high by the government. And a lot of modern people are confused and still think that you need the government's imprimatur to make something money. This fallacy is called chartalism, and it's the working philosophy of people who think they need government approval for everything that they do. Gold was money for 5,000 years, not because all governments got together and approved of it, but because the free market converged on it. And governments then proceeded to make gold coins because people already valued gold. It wasn't that people valued gold because the governments made gold coins first.
Exactly. Gold did a great job for 5,000 years. Did a great job. And again, people don't understand the 4 stages of money, right? And gold went through their process too. And people don't know this. And this is why we got to educate them. The first one is a collectible. Gold was like a really cool, pretty piece. We found it. We're like, wow, this is nice. You know, blah, blah, blah. And then we realized it was valuable. So we use it as a store of value. That's the second step. Third step is once we put it as a store of value and saved it up, we're like, well, you know what? Maybe I can exchange this for some goods and services. And the third step was medium of exchange. And then after a while, once everybody realized how precious it was and how rare it was and how valuable it was, people said, you know what? This is it. This is the money of the world. This is the world reserve currency. And it's spread all around the globe. And again, the reason why the governments took it on is not because they chose it, it's because the people chose it. And in my opinion, that's exactly what's going on with Bitcoin. We are in between step 2 and 3 right now. We're about 97% of a store of value and about 1 to 3% of a medium of exchange, because some people, you know, use it in different countries and things like that. And more people are going to be using it because of the debasement of the currency. So yeah, so Bitcoin to me is going through the exact same process as gold did.
Bitcoin itself, a great metaphor for understanding it, is as digital gold. Sound money for a digital age that requires fast final settlement of a bearer asset. So rather than sending shiny yellow rocks around the world on boats and planes, you can send Bitcoin over digital communication channels. It was gold's physical and chemical properties, its durability, its lack of rusting, etc., that made it a good candidate for sound money. And the same is true for Bitcoin. Like gold, Bitcoin is scarce. In fact, it's even more scarce, and higher prices do not increase the supply or production, unlike gold. So Bitcoin is scarce. And unlike gold, Bitcoin is very easy, as we said, to send across digital communication channels.
Absolutely. And because of gold's properties, its hardness, its chemical presence made by the sun, you can't create it or can't destroy it. The rarity, the hardness of it, how hard it is to get it, because money's supposed to be hard to get. It made an excellent money for 5,000 years and did a great job. But we live in a digital age now. And like you said, if you want to send money to people, You're not going to go back to gold coins. You're just not. Now, when I was in precious metals, deep into precious metals, and when I used to hear him say shiny yellow rocks and silver rocks and stuff like that, I used to take offense to that. But now I know better. He's absolutely right. You know, we're not going to go back a couple of 100 years ago when we used to pass gold coins back and forth. And we're also not going to go back to using a fiat currency or a debt note paper backed by gold, because we can't trust the custodians. We just can't. And people in the world, especially with the AI going on and technology and everything else, and this world being even more digital in the future than it is now, we're not going to go back to an analog, archaic money. We're just not. And the quickness of people sending money with Venmo and PayPal and all this other stuff and going into a cashless society, that's what's going on. The problem is not instant settlement. The only instant settlement is Bitcoin. That's it. If you send some Satoshis over the Lightning Network, it'll take less than a second or a couple of seconds or whatever, and it's cheap as heck. A lot cheaper than Visa, a lot cheaper than everything else, and there's no middleman. So again, we're not going to go back, no disrespect to gold or silver. We're not going to use that old analog money in a digital world, especially in the future, like I said, with AI and everything else. We got to get ready and buckle up. We got to skate to where the puck is going and get ready for the permissionless money, and that's Bitcoin.
We're seeing the world slowly converging around Bitcoin as a new global asset and global currency, not because someone passed a law somewhere, but because more and more people are opting into this new form of ethical, non-violent money. And they may do so out of greed, but the good thing about this is it's basically transmuting people's greed into nonviolence. A final note, you cannot be an effective advocate for nonviolence while still using and supporting fiat money. If you're a peace activist, for example, who strongly supports a fiat currency like the US dollar, you are undermining your own cause. It's a little bit like being a vegan activist who lives off of animal blood milkshakes. It's fine to live off of animal blood milkshakes, in my opinion, but then you shouldn't be a public vegan. So choose Bitcoin instead. Get rid of your fiat. Opt into this wonderful, beautiful, nonviolent system that's called Bitcoin, the money of nonviolence and peace.
Absolutely. Bitcoin is the money of nonviolence and peace, prosperity and fairness. Bitcoin is something that the world has never seen. It just is. And I have so much conviction in it. Guys, every single morning when I wake up, I buy Bitcoin. I have an automatic buy with Bitcoin with swan.com. So if you guys want to buy some Bitcoin, doesn't matter where you buy it, but if you want to help the channel and get $10 of free Bitcoin, you can go on my link below. Click on that, you'll get $10 of free Bitcoin with a verified account, and then you can do a daily buy. You know what I mean? You can do a weekly buy or whatever. And then if you already have Bitcoin and you want your setup done, schedule a 30-minute free call with the Bitcoin Way with the link below. But I'm telling you guys right now, Bitcoin is the way, guys. It is the future. It is the way. And to me, the choice is clear. I mean, it just is. And you have to choose wisely when it comes to your money and your energy. And I tell you guys this all the time. Which one are you going to choose? Are you going to choose the money of death and wars with the fiat currency that you didn't choose, that your grandparents didn't choose and nobody else chose, and the government chose for you, and they can just press the button and print out as much as they want? Meanwhile, you have to work for it and your wages are not catching up. Take a look.
$1 million 1993 today is now $2,070,000. Inflation in 5 years will probably devalue half of everyone's money listening to this in their 401ks, IRAs, and their soft saving accounts. Like right now, the world is a wreck, and their only solution to the devaluation is they're gonna have to work harder. Over the last 20 years, 2002 to 2022, salaries have increased 27%, but the cost of a home has gone up 148%. In other words, like our cost of living and lifestyles is not keeping up. Average person drives a $60,000 a year car that has a $50,000 a year salary with over $100,000 of student debt, 60% of America living check to check. We have a problem, and being busy is not the solution, and getting another job is not the solution.
You see, you guys already know this stuff, but we need to teach the world this. And the choice is clear. If you know not to opt in with fiat currency, and of course we have to, it's a medium of exchange right now, of course, and we have to use it for that. But there's no way in heck we're going to use it as a store of value, because you already see what's going to happen. Your wages don't even come close to catching up to the amount of inflation. Can you imagine being a Gen X and trying to buy a house right now? That's why everybody's struggling. This is why my mission is to show people the truth. It is my mission to put people in front of this so they can understand. But the choice is clear to me. You can also choose gold. Is there anything wrong with gold? No, nothing wrong with it. You know, but again, it's an analog money. Is it a good savings account? Of course. Compared and relative to fiat currency, it's much, much better. The problem is when you compare it to the other one, it's much slower. It's an analog money. And again, if you're saving in it, what are you going to do with it when it's time to cash in, quote unquote? You're just going to save it forever and never cash in? I mean, or get a good or a service. I'm not saying you can't trade your gold for a house or something like that. I'm sure there's people that'll do that or any type of thing you need. But if you're saving for 20 or 30 years and you think you're going to be able to transact in gold with a lot of people, I don't know, man. I don't know. And again, I'm not here to knock gold. I'm not, but I opted out of that a long time ago. Again, it's an analog money in a digital world, and I have to skate to where the puck is going. And I do, and I suggest you guys do that by learning and understanding this Bitcoin situation. You really do. And I study every single day. I buy every single day. And the more I learn, the more I want, and the more I buy, I feel like I don't have enough. I just don't. So the choice is clear. As a store of value and a future money, again, is it going to be fiat currency? Absolutely not. Is it going to be gold? Maybe. And for me, the choice is easy. It's the best way to save. And for me, the only way to save. And that's Bitcoin. I love each and every one of you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace and love, guys.